All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the National Catholic College Admission Association and Jesuit Education Tour Virtual College Fair. It is a mouthful, but we are very excited to have you here with us this evening. We have some fantastic institutions with us today. My name is Stephanie, and I will be your facilitator for this session. Before we get started, just a couple housekeeping items for you. Just a quick reminder, your camera and microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. You can, however, though, use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time during this session. This is one of many different sessions that are happening, so please be sure to check out the website if you're interested in anything else. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/NCCAA. And I would like to now turn it over to our presenters.
Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate it. Hello and welcome. My name is Susan Winstow. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Enrollment at Carlow University. Just to give you a little background about Carlow before we get into our topic on athletics, Carlow we're a small private Catholic institution. We offer both professional and liberal arts undergraduate and graduate programs. We are located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, actually just outside of Pittsburgh in a town called Oakland. Oakland has been called the educational, medical, and technical cultural hub of Pittsburgh. We are surrounded by amazing hospitals, so students looking into the healthcare industry, just amazing opportunities for clinical exposure. We are right in a bus line into downtown Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh really houses several Fortune 500 companies, Intel, Uber, just about everything that students can take advantage of in terms of internships. We were founded by the Sisters of Mercy, and Carlow is very committed to service, very committed to social justice, and very welcoming of everyone, regardless of your faith, regardless of where you're from, regardless of your background. So that gives you just kind of a little snapshot of the university. And what I'd like to do, I'm going to share my screen. And I am going to talk a little bit about our athletics. Okay, so Carlow University Department of Athletics. We are known as the Carlow Celtics, or depending on who you talk to, sometimes we're known as the Carlow Celtics. But I think when you speak in terms of our athletic department, we're known as the Carlow Celtics. We have a variety of sports, both for men and for women. For men, we offer cross country, golf, soccer, track and field, and volleyball. For women, we offer cross country, golf, soccer, softball, tennis, track and field, and volleyball as well. So I just want to give you a little picture of what our facilities are like. We are part of we belong to, it's called the Alpha Tennis and Fitness Club. And this is actually where our tennis team will practice and where they will hold their home games. This is the Donahue Pavilion. It's actually located in one of the Catholic high schools just around the corner from Carlow. It's just a beautiful area. And this is where our men's and women's basketball team both practices and has their home games as well. This is Highmark Stadium, gorgeous stadium. You can actually see the Pittsburgh skyline right behind us. We actually share the stadium with the professional Pittsburgh soccer team. So it's just an amazing field and a spectacular view if we have any soccer buffs out there. This is Lindfield at Fairhaven Park. Fairhaven Park, beautiful park, again, not too far from the university. This is where our men's and women's, our women's softball team practices and has their home games. This is St. Joe's Athletics and Fitness Center. It is located right on our campus in St. Joe's Hall. And this is where our volleyball team, both men and women's volleyball team, practice and have their home games. Shenley Park, beautiful park, again, not too far from the university. This is where our cross country and track and field athletes practice and also have their home meets. And last but not least, we are a member of the Youghiogheny Country Club, and this is where our men's and women's golf team practice and have their meets as well. So if you want to get a lot of information about athletics, a couple ways to do it. You can actually just go to athletics.carlow.edu or get right on our website at carlow.edu, and there's a little athletic icon located at the very top left. The website is excellent. It's got a list of our coaches, contact information, our facilities. It talks about our conference. It has all the games, all the teams that we play. It has stats, and it even has recordings of some of our games as well. And students, if you want to connect with a coach directly, you'll want to get on our athletic website and fill out what's called the Recruit Me form. That actually, it'll ask some general information about yourself and your sport, and that actually will go directly to the coach. You can also follow us on social media. We are part of Twitter. We're on Instagram and on Facebook, and we post a lot of things on YouTube as well. So we are actually we belong to what's called the River States Conference. This was founded actually back in 1916. It's an old conference. It was known as the Kentucky Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, but it was rebranded in 2016. There are 13 member institutions that belong to this conference, and we travel to 5 states. We travel to Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. And this conference sponsors 17 championship sports. In addition to the River States Conference, we're also affiliated with the NAIA, that's the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. And on top of that, we're also affiliated with the USCAA. What's really nice about being a member of multiple conferences, it really increases our ability to participate in tournaments, which is nice. And it also makes us very, very competitive as well. So speaking of NAIA, as an NAIA institution, Carlow developed what's called Champions of Character program. And this program incorporates 5 core values: integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership. Now, these 5 core values really closely mirror the values of our founding Sisters of Mercy. And as champions of character, Carlow works very hard to promote student leadership and athletic community engagement. Now, athletics does come first at Carlow. However, we also recognize that athletics are a big part of our students' lives, and we know that we want that experience to continue for them while they are at Carlow. Our coaches work very closely with our faculty to ensure that our athletes, regardless of what their major, they're able to participate in any of our sports without the fear of having their academics suffer. Sometimes we get asked, well, I'm a nursing major, a pre-med major. Can I do sports at Carlow? Yes, that speaks to the collaborative efforts between our faculty and our coaches, and really just the competitiveness of our students as well. So as an NAIA school, students are required to register with the National Clearinghouse for NAIA eligibility. What they'll do is, and you only have to register once, what they'll do is just make sure that you're eligible, you're meeting NAIA regulations, and it'll also make sure that not only are you eligible to play, but you're also eligible for scholarships as well. We're probably equivalent to what I would call a Division II school. We do offer athletic scholarships. And what's nice about that is, although we don't have full tuition athletic scholarships, our athletic scholarships can be combined with our merit scholarships, which range from $10,000 to $20,000. They can also be combined with what's called our Catholic High School Award. If you are graduating from a Catholic high school, that's an additional $5,000 award that your athletic scholarship can be combined with. We also have an honors program. If you're invited into the honors program, you can combine that $3,000 honors with the athletic and the merit-based scholarships as well. And we also have some new scholarships that are major focus too. And all these are stackable, which is wonderful because it gives students the opportunity to really kind of acquire a lot of merit-based scholarships to really reduce the cost of a private education. I would say collectively, Carlow athletes have one of the highest grade point averages on campus. They are an impressive group here at Carlow. And this really speaks to not only the dedication and the time management capabilities of our student, it really speaks to also the coaches and faculty's commitment to our students' success. So that is a summary on Carlow. And over the next few minutes, I welcome any questions that you may have. I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to my colleague who is with us.
Thanks so much, Susan. That was wonderful. For those of you in our audience, please feel free to ask questions as I'm speaking. Susan, you're welcome to answer in the background. I have given this presentation a lot of times, so I will not be flustered. So definitely feel free to interrupt me. But my name is Allie Smith. I'm one of our assistant directors of admission here at Villanova University, and thrilled to be here speaking with you today. I will give you kind of a little rundown on Villanova as a whole, and then we'll go into touch on, mostly Division I athletics, but I will also talk about our club sports and our intramural sports as well, because that is a really big part of what we do at Villanova. We have a really collaborative classroom environment and a great kind of balance between academics and, your social life. We, work hard, play hard. So about 2/3 of our students are involved in club and intramural sports, as well as being involved in our 24 Division I sports. So a lot of ways to be, athletic at Villanova, as well as, a big time fan. So without further ado. All right. So Villanova at a glance, we are an Augustine Catholic University. So we are the only Augustine university in the United States. We're very proud of that, very proud of our Catholic heritage. We are about 12 miles west of downtown Philadelphia. We have 2 train lines on campus that can get you downtown in about 20 to 25 minutes, but we are located on a safe suburban campus, very walkable, about 5 to 10 minutes in between academic buildings, about 15, 20 minutes from end to end. But all in all, it's a medium-sized school. 6,700 undergraduates, average class size about 20 to 25, with an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We don't have TAs that teach. Like I said, very collaborative classroom environment, more than competitive. We save the competition for the athletic field and keep our classrooms very much collaborative. We have 80+ majors and minors housed within our 4 different academic colleges. So that's arts and sciences, business, engineering, and nursing. And like I said, we have 24 Division I sports. So for a school of our size, that's actually a lot of sports. So our student athlete to student ratio is pretty high. So we don't have athlete classes at Villanova. Everyone's amongst each other. It's a very Augustinian thing to be living and learning amongst each other. We don't have athlete-specific housing. You'll be living with students that are athletes, students that aren't athletes. So everyone is mixed together. No one's kind of off, siloed. So athletes are very much part of the campus experience. And, it's great for the athletes, and it's great for, the students that just want to be a part of something big, right? Like the athletes are in your classes. I definitely didn't come from a high school that had big time school sports spirit. And I definitely didn't pick Villanova. I should mention, I'm a Villanova graduate. I ran track and field at Villanova and was our director of operations for track and field for about 6 years before moving on to admissions. So I've seen a lot of different sides of things, but like I said, definitely didn't pick Villanova for big time basketball, although that is a lot of what we're known for. Maybe filled out a March Madness bracket based on colors and mascots. Don't judge me. But, by the time we got to sophomore year, as front row student section put me in coach, I brought my jersey. So it's really fun to get wrapped up in that big time school sports spirit. So I'm going to go ahead and try and hide this little thing, hide video panel there. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to do this. Okay, so we are part of the Big East Conference. So you might have heard of some other schools that are involved in the Big East Conference. So trying to think of Catholic. So Marquette is in there, Georgetown is in there. You get the picture. So really fun to be involved in that. So this is Villanova's campus at a glance. You can see we have the track and field facility on the right-hand side, along with our Finner and Pavilion and our Jake Nevin Fieldhouse. So a lot of our athletic buildings are housed on that side of campus. So South Campus where the freshmen live, the Commons, those are our brand new residence halls. Main campus is where our academic buildings are. West Campus has upper class students along with our soccer fields and tennis courts. So lots to be involved with there. Before I kind of go more into the athletic side of things, I will mention that if you want to get a better feel for who we are as a university, I know I went through that really quickly, definitely check us out. We have, like Susan said, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, but Instagram is really where you're going to find a lot of our content. And you can check us out at Villanova Admission. So don't add the S, just admission. We've got takeovers, we've got student interviews, room shows. So it's a great way to get a feel for who we are. So Division I at a glance, 347 Division I schools, more than 6,000 athletic teams. So a ton of student athletes. Generally Division I schools have the largest student bodies. But only 8% of high school athletes end up going on to compete at Division I. And I think a common misconception is that all Division I students are receiving scholarships. That's actually not the case. Only about 2% of Division I athletes are receiving scholarships. So definitely look around, consider other schools, Division I, Division II, Division III, consider them all because it's not always what you think it might be. So lots of rules that go into Division I athletics. So lots of communication rules. So June 15th after sophomore year, coaches can call, email, text, private message, off-campus contact, August 1st before junior year. Again, I know this seems like a lot of rules. You are not expected to be the expert on this. The coaches are expected to be the expert. So if you, call or text them too early, they will let you know what they are and are not allowed to say. You can read this. I won't kind of, belabor the point too much, but they are the experts. You do not have to be, but sometimes it helps to have an idea of the rules, just so you know, oh, why isn't so-and-so calling me back? Or why haven't I heard from XYZ coach? So it's kind of, helpful to familiarize yourself with that process. So visits are a really important part of, kind of the Division I process. It's a good way to know whether you're, on a school's list, whether it's an official visit or an unofficial visit. So what does that mean? Well, I'll get into it a little bit later, but official visit is when they're paying for everything, and an unofficial visit is when you're paying for things. So if you're doing an official visit, you only have 5. So definitely choose wisely, but that's a great way to gauge interest from the coach. I won't go into this too much because it's a little bit different this year now that we're kind of moving out of it, but a lot of schools have, adopted a test optional policy. We at Villanova have adopted a test optional policy for this academic cycle. Stay tuned for next year, but for right now, the NCAA has followed suit, but things are changing all the time. So definitely check back to the NCAA website for updates on rules, policies, and procedures. So one of the questions I get a lot when talking about, being on an athletic team at a Division I school is how to know if you're being recruited. So who is calling? That is a great question to kind of ask yourself. Is it the head coach? Is it an assistant coach? Is it no one? Are you the only one reaching out? That's a great way to kind of gauge if you're being recruited by a school. Are you being recruited as a walk-on versus a scholarship athlete? So a lot of the times, the majority of Division I students might be walk-ons, and that's fantastic. So it might be, you're on the school's list, but they're not going to offer you any money. Or it could be a partial scholarship. It could be a whole scholarship. There's a lot of different questions to ask, and it's great to kind of ask those up front. Social media, are the coaches following you on social media? Are people on the team following you on social media? That's another great way to kind of gauge whether or not you're being recruited at that point. So I mentioned this a little bit before, but there's official visits and there's unofficial visits. So they start at a certain point. Official visits, they're school funded. You get 5 total, 48-hour limit. And schools, are going to bring in their top athletes to do these official visits. That's a great way to know if you're high on someone's list. Unofficial visit, self-funded, and you can do as many as you want. So is Division I right for me? This is another question I get asked a lot. So do you want to be the big fish in the small pond, or the opposite? Do you want to be the small fish in the big pond? So, and you can do that within Division I, or you can do that within different divisions, whether it's Division II, III, NAIA, whatever it is. So what are your goals, athletic versus academic? Do you want to go to the best, most academic school you possibly can? Or do you want to, get the most playing time you possibly can? Sometimes those overlap, sometimes they don't. So it's great to kind of make a list of your goals before you move forward. When building your college list, do your homework, figure out, what the team's goals are, where you would fit into those goals. Would you be playing right away? Would you, maybe hopefully be playing by senior year? Always helps to do a self-assessment to kind of figure out where you would fit into that landscape. So if you're thinking about playing Division I, you are going to need to focus on the Eligibility Center. There are academic requirements. You can see those online, but you are going to have to do the 10 NCAA applicable core high school courses with a minimum of 2.3 GPA. Can't receive compensation, can't accept payment. This is changing a little bit, but for right now, it is also test optional. So what is an NLI? It's a National Letter of Intent. This ends the recruiting process. So once you've committed to a school, you say I'm 100% coming, then you would sign that NLI. It's a binding agreement. So the recruit is saying that they are going to attend that institution for 1 year, and the institution is going to provide financial aid for that academic year to sit out if it's broken. So this is just if you are receiving a scholarship. Okay, let's see. I'm going to stop sharing. So that's kind of the gist of Division I as far as athletic recruiting and things of that nature. But I did want to mention that we do have so many other ways to get involved in athletics as a Villanova student, and most Division I schools will, whether that's being on, a student organization. We have something called the Nation, where you are kind of like the cheer team for the student section. So there's lots of different ways to get involved with that. They have leadership positions, they do fundraisers, they do a whole bunch of different things to cheer on those sports. We have our club and intramural sports. Again, 2/3 of our students are involved in club and intramural sports. So club sports are kind of that next level down from Division I. You might have a tryout, you might have a jersey, you're going to compete against schools with other teams. So they usually have budgets, they have leadership. So it's a great way to kind of stay in touch with that athletic side of things, have it be a bit more formal, but not quite at the Division I level. We also have intramural sports, which is kind of that, most recreational of the three. So it'll be organized by our kind of athletic student life section, and it's more like pick up basketball with your friends, or, Frisbee, whatever it is. So lots of great options, but pick what's right for you, pick what's right for your goals, both academic and athletic. So at this point, that's really all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions about NCAA Division I, being a part of a spirited school, or being involved in club and intramural sports.
We'll give it a few minutes. Students, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in that Q&A. Our presenters are happy to answer anything. So we'll give it a few minutes if you want to put something in.
I think this actually really gives the students here two very different perspectives in terms of conferences, which I think is great. And it's really all about what you're looking for, what you want to be involved in as well. And yeah, very, very different. The one thing I will mention for the academic criteria, which I didn't mention before, for NAIA, you do need to be above a 2.0, and you do need to be in the top 50th percentile of your class. Right now, they have relaxed the SAT requirement. We've gone test optional as well. Last year, we started because of the pandemic, and we'll probably continue to do that, both in athletics and with our regular academics. So.
Well, all right. Allie and Susan, if you want to put your contact information in the chat box and send it just so all of our attendees have your contact information so they can reach out to you. We'll end on that. I'll share my final screen with some final information while you guys do that. And that'll wrap us up. Well, I guess I should turn my camera back on too. Okay, so just a final quick thank you so much to everyone who joined us this evening, especially to our presenters. You both did fantastic. Oh, maybe something just come in. I'll just a thank you. Thank you. That is directed to you guys. Students, families, when you close this window, there will be a really quick link to a survey. Sorry, I'm stuttering over my words. That'll pop up. It's only 5 questions. So if you're willing to provide any feedback, we would absolutely greatly appreciate it. There are some other sessions happening, so please be sure to check out the website if you have any other interests. And just a reminder that this session was recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/NCCAA. Thank you one more time for attending, Susan, Allie. You guys did fantastic. And I'm sure they would join me in saying we hope you have a wonderful evening and we wish you the absolute best of luck in your college search process. All right, it was great talking with everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.